Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Craig and Mercy G's channel. Today, I thought I would talk about what is it like living in the Philippines. So sit back and let me share some of my thoughts with you. What is it like living in the Philippines? That will depend on who you are and what your expectations are. You could come here for the lifestyle. You could come here for love. Maybe you're just seeking a change from your home country. Whatever the reason, it doesn't matter why. Some want the beach living on an island for their retirement years. There are plenty of islands and beaches here. Some want to farm or work here. Others come on the promise of love. Now be mindful that the Philippines is a developing country and that things work very differently here than where you are coming from. One of the most important things you need to be aware of is Filipino time. I don't mean time zones either. This is a very laid-back, casual country, and time is relative. So if a friend says, "I'll meet you at 10, that may well end up being 12 or 2. Don't get frustrated though. Everything works like that here. Just go with the flow. It doesn't take long for you to get used to this. There is poverty, and there are slums in the big cities in the Philippines. But there are slums in any large city throughout the world. I first came here from Grafton, New South Wales, 700 kilometres north of Sydney, and there are slum areas there too. And I now live in a region of Cavite which is a comfortable commute to Manila. For a city of 22 million people within a developing country, Manila has a lot of good things going for it. There are tremendous growth and development opportunities here, so economically it is an energetic place to live. The Filipino people are delightful, cheerful people. The level of spoken English in the Philippines is very high, which helps me enormously as my level of Tagalog is still in its beginner stages. The food is plentiful and delicious, although it is getting expensive lately. You will not starve in the Philippines. Everyone feeds you when you visit them. I have noticed that the typical Filipino greeting when arriving at a friend's home is, "Hello, how are you? Are you hungry?" I've been here on 2 occasions, once for 22 months, and this time almost 20 months because of the pandemic. And still I am impressed by the number of merchants that push their carts up and down the street calling out what they are selling as they pass our house. They sell everything from different kinds of food, furniture, and even internet plans. Why isn't this a thing in Australia? I prefer to walk to local markets or the main street rather than catch a trike. That way I can relish the sights and delicious smells of the street food stalls. In Australia you only see food stalls at the weekend markets or fairs, but here they are an everyday part of life and almost every 10 metres. In my personal experience, I have found the Philippines, and especially Cavite, to be very safe. We often commute on jeepneys and buses late at night and into the early hours of the morning, going home, and have had no major trouble. Having said that, I am not an idiot. I would not walk around at night on my own. A lone white man is considered a walking ATM, and therefore a target for robbery or even kidnapping. To be fair though, I would not walk around Sydney streets at night on my own either. I was pickpocketed once on a jeepney. Sadly for the thief, when he looked in my wallet, he was disappointed to see it was empty. All that it held were 2 useless MasterCard travel cards. I had never put funds on them because, contrary to what my bank told me, they are not accepted in the Philippines, and my Australian driver's licence. I know he was disappointed because he tapped me on the shoulder and handed it back with such a puzzled look on his face. I guess he was thinking, who carries an empty wallet around? I never carry cash, either in my wallet or on me, most times. I do not even take my wallet. I never carry cash, either in my wallet or on me. Most times I do not even take my wallet. The Philippines is no more dangerous than any other place where there are millions of people crowded together. You just have to use common sense. Yes, I know, common sense is very rare these days. Quality of life can be very high in the Philippines if you have a little bit of money, and an excellent lifestyle is readily achievable. There are hundreds of malls, restaurants, resorts, and theatres, just to name a few things. It would be remiss of me not to mention that Manila and its immediate surrounding regions can be a bit intense sometimes. It is hot and stuffy, but you can visit the aforementioned air-conditioned malls where you can spend the day with the rest of the population in the air conditioning. There are crowds everywhere, and let us not forget the traffic. More on that later. But if you feel the need to get out of the rat race, the Philippines has an unimaginable 7,641 islands. Here's a tip I learned from experience. Travel midweek, because it seems like the entire population go road tripping or visiting on the weekends. And if you're driving or commuting on the road, it could be hours added to your trip. I'll share a little story about this. The first Christmas I was here, I'd only been here 10 days or so. A friend took us to Tagaytay. Now that is normally a comfortable hour and a half drive each way. Coming home just on dusk, we left Tagaytay, and 6.5 hours later we arrived home. That was extreme, but not unusual. Now we hire a local driver with a van, and he knows quite a lot of shortcuts and back roads to get around the inevitable traffic jams. So there are plenty of cheap destinations to keep you busy. In fact, if you went to a different island each weekend, it would take you 147 years to see them all. Come and see for yourself, you'll be surprised. Well, that's enough rambling on from me. Stay safe, stay healthy, look after your loved ones, and I'll see you all next time. Oh, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Uru.